Hello, dear humanity. Welcome to Human Thesaurus. I'm your host / Wonderstruck, Wishironkyo Peacock. Human Thesaurus is an intersection between a vast lexicon that best describes our human nature. It's my conversation to highlight people like you and me doing what they do best while equating them to their own synonyms. Tania is a writer / filmmaker based in New York City. Her short film, Pharmacopoeia, has been selected for regional, national, and international film festivals. It includes Best U.S. Short, Special Mention for Stylistic Vision and Emerging Talent at the Palm Springs International Short Fest, a finalist for Festival International du Film Panafricain de Cannes, and a SF Film Renan Grant finalist. She is currently a 2021 Sundance / Alfred P. Sloan artist, working towards expanding the short into a full-length feature, which I'm very excited about. Tania believes in using her voice to champion the causes of underserved and Black communities, women, and people of color, illustrating the humanity in their stories. I met Tania via a friend who introduced me to her blog called Ugly Duckling Diaries. It's all about these women and sharing their story to show their ugly duckling faces through the evolution of their ugly duckling times to their success, to who they are as people right now. So at that time, we set up a phone call for me to tell her an outline of my ugly duckling story. And she asked me if I could write for her blog, which I did. That was a fun thing for me to do with her. The last time we've met, I think, was 2016. We were in LA and we had this fruit smoothies in a shop with my friends. And that was really a beautiful time with her. Everything that she does, everything how Tania evolves is something that I always watch for because I wouldn't be surprised with her different variables of success. I'm saying variable because she explores different things all the time and I have so much confidence that she will excel in all of them. I'm always proud of her. I always have this deep adoration and respect for her. My synonyms for Tania are fire as a noun, establishing as a verb, and glorious as an adjective. Within this conversation, you'll further understand why I describe her as such. So, here she is, Tania Taiwo.
So, hey, my name is Tania Taiwo. Same as the words vessel as a noun, illuminate as a verb, tenacious as an adjective. I like the word scintillating and really dislike the word dump. Although I use it sometimes, but I hate the way it sounds. Ugh.
Love it. Thank you so much for that.
Hi, everyone. What's up? I'm so excited to be here. Wish it's been a super, super long time. And I'm so proud to witness your accomplishments from the other side of the globe. Wow. I'm just always amazed at the path that life takes us. Yes. And how that path just has like what I call the spider web and how it ends up reaching other people. And then they end up, it illuminates something in their path and then they use their web to influence others and just make this world better than we found it.
How are you doing? It's been a long time, and if it's okay with you for me to ask, how are you feeling, like post-surgery and stuff?
Yeah. So life is kind of wild right now. It's exciting. I tell people I'm like on this journey where I have no idea what's happening in my life next. I'm just like, God surprised me, whatever it is, like just do you. And so right now, how am I feeling? I'm feeling excited. Excited.
Why is that?
Because I have no idea what's around the corner. I've always been this person that had the list, had the plan, knew what the next year, 3 years, 5 years, what lifetime, how I wanted that to look.
Mm.
And then things are just different for me now to where I kind of want to be surprised by
Yeah.
life. I kind
Yeah.
of want to be open to what's next. And it's actually, since I put down my list, I've kind of really been liking what life's list is looking like, just not knowing. I'm enjoying approaching life and I'm enjoying seeing life through childlike wonder, if that makes
Mm.
sense.
It does. It does. Because
Yeah.
from the time that we've met until now, I've seen you flourish through leaps and bounds. So, how did you come about from this journey from the time that we've met to now pursuing film and really excelling with it? So yeah, what gives? Like how did you go through that journey? What made you had this realization that okay, this is where I'm gonna go?
So for me, I guess the fork in the road
Mm,
was when I lost my mother.
yeah.
Just after that, I was definitely seeking for just with grief. I was just like, what's the point? Like, there has to be a
Mm,
point also
yeah.
to grief. It can't just be these things happen to us for no reason. I definitely believe in divine intervention, divine redirection. And I just began on a path of searching. Like, I
Right.
really needed I really needed meaning for my tears. And
Yes.
so my mother would always say, when you don't know what to do for yourself, be a blessing for others. And
Wow.
so I was just like, all right, I'm going through like this phase. I feel like I'm going through the ugly duckling years all over again.
Right. Yes.
Um, I was like, I can't be the only person that feels like is searching for meaning in just some of the dark moments in their life. And
Mhm.
so that's when I created the blog, and I really wanted to just see if others were going through adulting ugly duckling years. But
Right.
also
Yes.
I wanted, I had a niece, I have a niece, and she was just in those weird, like young and tween years. And so I also wanted to encourage her as
Yeah.
she was experiencing and going through some of her ugly duckling years. And so that's why I created the blog. Maybe it
Mhm.
was purely selfish, but I just want to know, there were others that were feeling, the way that I was at the time. And
Yeah.
just met some amazing women who were able to share their stories and how, they really found their superpower through these dark moments. And so, it was the blog for a time, and then it was the podcast, and
Mhm.
and I expanded it into a podcast, and it was that for a while. But those stories just like really encouraged me. Just listening to
Right.
other people, how they triumph, how they use their moments to find their superpower, how they found use their moments to find their purpose.
Yes.
That just really inspired me. I was a pharmacist, and I had done pharmacy for the parents. And
Oh. Mm.
oh yeah, absolutely. And I just
Mm.
came to a point like with these stories, and I came to a point where I was just more stronger. And I just knew pharmacy was not doing it for me anymore. I knew
Mm.
life was too short for me to stay somewhere where I was unhappy, doing something I was unhappy for a really good check. Just honestly, after my mom passed, some things just no longer made sense.
Yes.
And I took a trip to Bali. And when I came back, yeah, that trip was so amazing, so eye opening. When I came
Mm.
back, like 4 months later, I quit my career as a pharmacist.
Wow.
And I had always wanted to take a gap year.
Right.
And so I took an adult gap year, and I just traveled the globe. And it was the
Beautiful.
most amazing experience of my life. I discovered parts of me that I never knew were there.
Mm.
There were things illuminated in me. There were I just saw stories of so many amazing women across the globe. And I'm like, oh my God, we're bad bitches everywhere. And
Yeah.
yeah, and while on that trip, I just something in me just kept saying, "You're supposed to write a script. You're supposed to write a script."
Oh.
And I met some friends in Portugal for New Year's that year, and I remember I was just like, "Guys, I'm going to write a script," and they were like, "We love that for you." Like, just so encouraged. We love that for you. And so, still not knowing what, and came back to LA.
Mhm.
And around that time, marijuana was legalized for recreational use. And so
Yes.
all of a sudden, I had friends and different people who had never considered smoking who were like, hey, I have a friend that's a pharmacist. Let me ask her about this. And so, just in doing my own research out of my own curiosity during this time, as I began to research more, I was like, wait, there's a whole story here. Like,
Yes.
I know we're all happy marijuana is being legalized, but it's like 4 million Black and brown people that have lost their lives to this stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I was just like, wait, that's my story.
Mm.
What I know about being a pharmacist and just the lack of access when it comes to healthcare and
Yes.
my own experiences with my mother and feeling
Mm.
helpless against,
The system.
just the healthcare system.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, this is my story to tell. And I wrote a script from the heart, and it just kind of did really well from there,
Yeah.
surprisingly well. Yeah. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm going to make a short film. Nipsey Hussle had just passed, and he
Oh.
inspired the hell out of me.
Mhm.
He was definitely one for create your own opportunities. And I was in acting class at the time because I was just in a whole different phase of my life.
Yes.
And I was like, you know what? No one knows me in this industry. I can't get someone to like read a pilot that I wrote. So it might be easier to get people to watch like 5 minutes or something. And so I was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to make a film. And my friends were like, we love that for you. And so again, I tell people I Google my way here, 10,000 hours
Oh,
of Google. And that's how I'm here. That
wow.
was a long, like, story.
Yeah. When you're saying that, yeah, Google got you there, but I think it's your determination and your
Mm.
authenticity that took you there. Because without your experience and tying it all up together with that 10,000 browsing hours, um, so it's really you, the exuberantly beautiful you that came out of it. Because
Oh, I
when
wish.
I saw that you made a film, it did the first thing that I told someone beside me, I can't remember who, I was just like, why am I not surprised? Like,
Oh, it's wild when, people it's amazing how people see you versus how you see yourself,
yeah.
because to me, everyone is still speaking to that 7-year-old girl in me. The one
Mm,
who is super brave, like, just
yes.
would take jumps and leaps, but also so insecure within herself and just still feeling just like she has no idea what she's doing, still feels like she's still such a baby and young in the world, so thank you. I appreciate that.
But come to think of it, right? If you're thinking that you're still that 7-year-old you, that means you're still very grounded. So that's why your success, your continuous growth and success that may sometimes surprise you is because, yeah, because you're keeping your grounds. So I think that is very, very important in to any individual who may achieve anything, but when you're grounded, I think you still look back and appreciate and not take anything for granted. And that's where you kind of like, if you're writing stories, then you can dig deeper and the story that you're writing would make more sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And coming from here, what are we going to see with Tanya moving forward?
Oh, so Interesting. So definitely the film that definitely
Yes.
wants to get made,
Mm-hmm.
continue on that journey. But I work in advertising now.
Oh.
I really would I enjoy this time of like commercials and working with brands and figuring out, creative solutions. And
Nice.
so definitely more of that. I enjoy that. And then also my own path as just a filmmaker, whether
Mm-mm.
it's shorts, I really want to explore fashion films.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that would
yeah.
suit you well.
Yeah, I really want to explore that.
Yes,
Continue writing.
please.
Yeah, I wish I had a plan. The only thing I know that's ahead of me is just continuing on this path and
Mm,
advertising and filmmaker. Yeah.
yes. But where are you at in your full-length script writing? How are you there right now? Where are you? Are you near finishing
So,
or?
oh gosh, no. So still in development phase. I had
Mm,
no idea. So the short, I did that in 5 months. Hollywood, nothing happens in 5 months.
mm,
So I am in development, which means I'm still in the script writing phase.
mm-mm.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
still
okay.
early. And then from there, it's just many, many other phases. So
Mm,
I'm hoping I can get this done in record Hollywood time,
I hope so.
which is definitely not my personal timing for sure.
Right.
It gives me time to get things right and learn. So
Yeah.
I think that's the takeaway that I'm having right now.
Mm. How do you view the current Hollywood scene when it comes to up and coming talents like script writers and producers and directors? Where is Hollywood at when it comes to this portion?
Ooh,
I'm just curious.
okay, so I'm currently not really steeped in Hollywood, which
Mm,
is actually I'm kind of happy about.
yeah.
I'm under the Sundance umbrella, which has largely, in my opinion, shielded me from some of the ills of
Mm,
Hollywood.
right.
Um, just because they're just amazing in how they develop and nurture and support their talent. So
Mm,
I'm happy about that because I'm still a young creative. And
yeah.
when you're a young creative and you're still advocating for yourself and your voice, I
Mm,
think to just go up against like the Hollywood engine, just solo, it maybe could affect and jade the way you see the industry
yeah.
early on. Right now, because I am not steeped in Hollywood and I am super, super happy about that
Mm,
because I still have the rose-colored glasses on when it comes to the industry. And I know as I go deeper in and interact more, my perspective, my perceptions may change,
mm,
but I'm glad that I am building a solid foundation through Sundance.
yeah.
On how I'm glad Sundance is my first real experience with the industry.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fantastic. That's fantastic to know. That's good also for you, for your personality as well. And I think, yeah, if you start in the commercial world of Hollywood, I guess it's really harder to kind of learn the values and ethics of things along the way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That will
But
come. All of that will
but
all of
at
that
least you already have the tools as, like preparing to become a warrior before you enter the war.
well said. Perfect. Like seriously.
Right?
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I actually hadn't even really reflected on that until like this question. Like, Yeah.
So it's best to be prepared. But yeah, I mean, the experiences that you have, and you're the type of a person who's just really embracing experiences. I think it will be valuable as well. Like a lot of people are very insecure. I think all of us are insecure about something. But
Yeah.
you had this, you shifted careers, and it's really an extreme, like from science to arts, to creative. And as from the get go, that's why I wasn't surprised of your shift. It's because I always see that you have this creative side of you. It's very difficult to shift careers, but what have you learned when you shift careers? What advice can you give the younger generation or people who
To
are
choose you.
yeah.
To choose you. If I could say anything, choose you. I, yeah, when I think about the years that I worked as a pharmacist and, on the side, like
Mm,
going to fashion school, working on clothing line, like the blog and
yes.
the other things that I've done on the side, it was literally like I've always felt like two people.
Mm,
And I had, the science brain, the practical Tania. When you go to work, almost you have to anesthetize yourself, your feelings,
mm,
so that you can be present for other people and their emotions. When you work with really, I mean, when you work at a pharmacy, you're working with sick people. Most of the time, people are
yeah.
coming in there because something's wrong, and then,
Yeah.
you have to tell them, your insurance doesn't cover this, or your doctor hasn't called back, or you just have to almost deliver bad news like
Mm,
all day long, right?
yeah.
You have to listen to people. You're a therapist and, what's happening with them so that you can give them just better advice, just as far as you can be an advocate for their care and aid in
Yes.
their care in some way. So you're absorbing a lot of like emotions all day long.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was literally numbing myself it was almost like a form of defense so that
Mm,
I could kind of keep my little bit of self care while also being fully present for people.
yeah.
Um, and so you do that. And then at night and weekends, you're trying to be creative. And it's
Oh.
just, it's just hard. It was
Yeah.
just really hard. I'm surprised I was able to output what I was. But it's not easy to choose you. It's not easy when you feel like you're disappointing others. It's not easy when you're giving up a nice salary too, right? You're giving
Yeah.
up, and it's not just a salary. It's a lifestyle that you've become
Yeah.
accustomed to living with. Here, you just come to a point where you're like, nothing matters beyond my happiness. Like,
Mm.
happiness truly is underrated.
Expound.
It's not until you choose it and you're like, wow, so now I get paid to be creative. Now I
Yes.
get paid to be that light that brings me joy. Like
Mm.
it's just, it's unbelievable. It truly is. I would tell anyone to just choose you and do it in your own time. It
Yes.
took years for me to get to that point to where I'm like, I'm giving it all up. I don't care what's on the other side. It took years. It took strength. It took
Yeah.
going through a lot of things for me to get to that point. But once you're able to, and we all have our own timelines, just find a way at some point in your life to choose you, and you will never regret it. You will never regret putting yourself first.
Yes, I agree. That's beautiful, Tanya. It's it's the only way to go, really.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I don't think we're put on this earth to live other people's lives.
Yes. Yeah, and that's exhausting too.
It's exhausting. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
But, everyone, we all have our own journeys, our own paths, and don't, be gracious when it comes to yourself. Be kind. And, if you come to this realization or whenever you come to this realization, that's when it's the right moment. And
Yes.
just know that me choosing myself, even though I was a pharmacist for a long ass time, it was not for that was part of this path. Pharmacopoeia, it's about a pharmacist. So had I not been a pharmacist, had I not gone through my own personal paths and personal dealings with healthcare and, the medical system and, and hearing other people's stories and just hearing their hearts and their concerns and, there would be no pharmacopoeia.
Yeah.
So I believe everything in your past, in your path, they're just these little stones. You just pick them up, keep picking them up, keep picking them up. And one day you can build a house out of them.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm mind blown by that one. That is so right. It's always great talking to you because there's always a lot of nuggets of wisdom, and I'm just happy that to be recording to capture really the beauty that I see in you. This is phenomenal. So yes, I know I need to let you go soon. So in closing, what's
Yes.
the word that you can impart to our listeners and why?
Who?
Word or a phrase?
Word or a phrase?
Yes.
Huh. Dang. Let's see. There's something. I'm trying to get the wording of the phrase. I know what I want to say. Just
Okay.
want to get the right wording.
The creative mind and work in the works.
I'm so frustrated. My mother would say this all the time, and I can't. Oh, that's it.
Okay.
Do what you have to do until you can do what you want to do.
Oh, wow. Your mom is such a wise woman. She was such a wise woman, wasn't
Thank
she?
you. Yeah, I loved her a lot.
Oh, oh, I miss her now too.
Oh, she talks so much, and now I get why she had to put in a lot of stuff.
But don't you think that deep inside that she's really you're the living I'm finding the right words too. The living realization of what your mom is.
Absolutely. I take that 100.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
No, I
agree.
love that. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, 100.
Wow.
And I mean, she's still here. I carry her in my heart every day.
Mm. Well, you make her so proud every single day.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I do believe as much as she is like, go to college, get a good job, get a 401k, and just, work on retirement from, the age of 25 so that you'll be ready by the time you're, I don't know, whatever. But even though she was always a woman with a plan, I think she taught me to be gutsy. She taught me to be fearless. She taught me she lived a very bold life. And all that I am is because of her sacrifices, her boldness, her moves, her
Mm,
fearlessness through life. And so I think I believe she would be so proud of the manifestation of who she was,
mm.
that I'm the manifestation, but in a different way. All
Yeah,
those things, but just in a different way.
absolutely. I agree with that. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I
Are
really
you kidding
enjoyed
me?
hanging out
I'm
with you. I miss you
yes,
so
when I got the
much.
email, love you, Wish. I got that email and I was just like, absolutely. It's always just pure joy to talk to
Oh,
you. Yeah, I'm so
thank
glad we connected
you.
years ago.
Yeah, you're always been gracious to me from the get go, and I really appreciate that. I feel that there are only really a few people who see me, the real me, and
Mm.
you're one of them, and I really, really appreciate that.
Aw.
I hope to see you in New York soon enough for another fruit juice
Yeah.
sesh.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? Absolutely, we have to make that happen. If I if
Yes.
I don't make it to Singapore first,
Oh, yes.
yeah, yeah, it's long overdue.
From this episode, one of the most important words about life is journey. It is the long and often difficult process of personal change and development. It is similar to words trip, drive, roving, peregrination, wandering, globetrotting, odyssey, travels, expedition. Usher, an American R&B singer, quoted, "Success is about dedication. You may not be where you want to be or do what you want to do when you're on the journey, but you've got to be willing to have vision and foresight that leads you to an incredible end." We are constantly moving and trying to grasp what we think we wanted in life. But things change. Plans, life, they all get affected by other people and other instances of other things. So we have to keep on moving, and we always think and we always hear about the end game. But I don't think it's not the end game that we needed. It's that journey that we have to experience, that we can tweak, we can survive, we can learn from failures, we can be victorious along the way, be surprised, love and hate, and do different things before the end game. And when you go to the end game, so what? The journey is really something that we cannot ever master, but we can embrace. So life will be worth living. Enjoy that journey. Thank you for listening to Human Thesaurus. Please help me rate and subscribe because your support means a great deal. Join me again next week for another episode. And while waiting, why not listen to my past few episodes? You may find one of them absorbing. I'm your host, Wish Ronquillo Peacock. Have a fantastic day and thanks for listening.